Right then, how's it going? It's me, Shotty for HF, and I just wanted to do this video to let you know about this plugin. As always, I do these videos just in case there's somebody out there that doesn't know about this plugin yet. This one's from Acustica and it's called Arctic, and I think this is absolutely great, and it's also free. So let's have a quick look at it. Just to keep the intro as short as possible for you, as I say, it's by Acustica. Links will be in the description, of course, and it's available in VST2, VST3, AAX and AU formats, so it's for Mac as well. So this is it, and I love the layout of this thing. But what is it? Basically, it's a compressor, a limiter and a saturator, which you can morph between using this slider at the top. So obviously with some of the other features on there, it's got oversampling, which is great, especially when you're saturating. It's got a filter here, a bit of a high pass filter so that you can leave the low end alone. And also you've got your kind of response times, sort of attack and release times. It's all on one slider down here. So you've got fast and slow. The threshold in the middle, as you can see there, you've got dry and wet mix as well. So you can do a little bit of that kind of parallel processing and bring some of the dry signal back in. And yeah, I am obviously going to let you have a listen on some material in a moment. The other thing that I like about this, and I will just play some audio back now so I can show you what I mean with this, is that here we've got the makeup gain also on this slider. And I love the layout of this because it's right underneath the gain reduction, which you can see on this meter here. So if I just play this track, that I've literally got this on the output at the moment, on the stereo out of this track. So it's processing everything. I will just say I've used this, on various things, including just drum buses in general. Also vocals. I've been experimenting using this on vocals, and especially when you go over towards the kind of limiting and saturation part of this plugin, yeah, you can get some really, really nice results. So here we go, and I'll just show you what I mean about the gain reduction and the makeup gain. So hopefully if that's not too loud, you can still hear me. You can see there that when I turn up the threshold, you can see just here the gain reduction that's taken place. And at the moment, I've got it on the compressor setting. So as we turn it up slowly, you can see the gain reduction there in around about 1. So your makeup gain, which is underneath, you can kind of turn this up and visually match it. Obviously, you still want to do your kind of bypassing and do your kind of, what's the gain staging? What's the word I'm looking for? Level matching. Obviously, do your level matching, by bypassing it and so on. But that's a really nice layout for that, actually, and it makes it kind of easy to dial that in as you're sort of turning up the threshold. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to play this this track through it, and I'll kind of overdo it a little bit so you can really hear the difference between the compressor, the limiter and the saturator as you morph between those. And then there's just a couple of other things that I've kind of found out online about this plugin, which I thought were interesting, and then I'll share that with you. So obviously at the moment I'm starting over here right on the compressor side of the morph slider. And as I say, I'm going to overdo it a little bit so you can really hear, what's going on. You can really hear the difference as you go over towards that limiter area. And then now I'll go into the saturation. And the effects of this plugin are very, very kind of input driven. Obviously, if you're a little bit tame on the input, you get a much sort of cleaner sound out of it. But you can actually get away with driving this quite hard. The other thing down here is it's also got this little button down here, which I know in other plugins that I've got, it's referred to as Delta, which is where you can actually hear the level of the signal that's being processed, and that's all you can hear. So I'll just show you what I mean with that. With that, you can hear the saturated signal, and I'll leave it on delta just as I sort of morph between the other two. And again, I must stress, you know, I am overdoing this just so you can really hear what's happening with the sound. But you can actually hear the signal that's being limited. And then switching back. So it's a really great plugin to be able to sort of dial that sound in that's right for the material that you're putting through it. I mean, quite often, I think we all use sort of limiting and saturation together, you know, to really sort of control those peaks and to not have to overdo it with the limiter on its own. So yeah, obviously you've got your bypass down here and your input and your output. It's also giving you the RMS level in and the RMS level out. It's got another gain reduction meter down here at the bottom. So I guess in a sense, fairly straightforward stuff, but the layout is very interesting. And of course, being able to morph between those processes as you can in this plugin is fairly unique. Now, I have to say, I love all of the Acustica stuff. And they've got quite a lot of free plugins, to be fair. I think if I had all the money spare in the world, I would be spending quite a lot of money on their website because all of their plugins sound great and really thoughtful designs and layouts. So just a couple of things that I did find out about this plugin, which I thought I'd share with you. One of which is that the morph is actually changing the time behavior, not just the kind of the amount of each process. So as you're morphing between, it's changing the response to kind of the attack behavior and the release feel. It doesn't just increase, say, the compression amount, it actually changes how the whole plugin responds with regards to, as I say, the attack and release times and that kind of thing. So again, dialing that in, it's not just like switching between compressor and limiter, it's actually changing the tone and how this responds musically when you move that, which is something you don't really get when just looking at the plugin. The other thing is as well with this, apparently it's running a dual detector. So it's actually sort of doing a fast peak detection and a slow RMS detection at the same time. So this kind of controls the spikes and the transients without killing the groove. So it keeps that kind of the movement and the musicality intact because of that. That's it. The only other note I've got here for Mac users as well, if you're on a newer Mac, it does say run it in native mode. That was just one thing there. Apparently it runs better and it's basically smoother and it's running the plugin in real time. I'm not a Mac user, but that might be helpful to somebody, so I thought I'd mention it. So yeah, this is a really great plugin. I can't really believe that this is free, and I've found myself using it more and more in different scenarios, and you know, it's not just one tool for one particular thing. I think with this you can get some really great sounds out of it. If you don't know about this yet, please do go and check it out. As I say, I'll leave all the links in the description so you can go and do that. And yeah, that's it. Just wanted to share this with you. Now I'll leave you with another track where I've actually used this on the stereo out of that track, and I'll just let that play out at the end of this video. So that's it. Obviously, if you like this video, please do give it a like. And of course, subscribe to the channel because I will be back with more videos soon. And it really helps the channel out. Do appreciate it. And that's it for this video. Until the next one, take it easy, stay creative, keep smiling. Sound.
Someone needed desperately enough to kill 3 people in order to keep it a secret.
You're attacking my character.
gave you control, gave you control. Gave you control, gave you control. I gave you control.